fast, tight as you can get it.
At the bunkhouse, the excitement of meeting the ranch family has been replaced with the monotony of daily life.
I think that everyone's kind of down and out right now, just due to not one thing but a combination. Lack of sleep, like none of us are sleeping at all. And the heat, definitely. And so the combination of those kind of drive us into the ground.
The cowboys long to get in the saddle and start hunting for cattle.
I'm really looking forward to departing from the mundane tasks around the place and getting on the horses and actually working some cattle and doing the more cowboy-type things.
But Stan keeps a tight grip on his crew, holding them back to build a corral for the as yet unclaimed Longhorn.
We're going to be doing more work on this fence today, I promise you that. We just thought we were through, but no.
Mr. Cook is anxious for the men to begin hunting for cows.
I think there's a certain amount of not knowing what to do on the part of the cowboys, but there's a certain amount of not doing it going on, too. I'm looking for a sense of urgency that I'm not experiencing, so I'm going to toughen up a little bit. I'm going to set some goals for them that they're not setting. I'm expecting to see a lot more riding, 6 to 8 hours a day. They need to be out either looking for cows, checking water sources, doing more cowboying.
Howie!
But so far, the only member of the ranch doing any herding is Howie the dog.
Good job, Howie. Bring him home. Good boy.
At the ranch house, Mrs. Cook has been busy organizing her household.
All the ladies and I sat down this morning, and we realized we were frazzled. We hadn't had a moment to think. So we sat down and we created project lists. We have chore schedules now. We know exactly who's going to do what. We have a list of what we're going to ask from the cowboy camp. We have a list of what Mr. Cook needs to do for us. And every time we think of something, we add to it. And it's amazing how the place looks. Life is good now. We feel better.
Of course, we all know what she really wants is Thousand Island dressing.
My guess is that women in 1867 are probably a lot like the women that you find in our ranch right now. I think all of us kind of share some commonality in that we're kind of go-getters, and we're interested in an adventure. I think I'm going to use lard. Don't tell Mr. Cook.
I won't. I bet he won't notice the difference. I think
What he doesn't know won't hurt him. If you're looking for comfort and normalcy and routine and protection, this would not be the place to be.
All right, girls ready?
Yeah. We're a little behind schedule today.
The Cook daughters begin their working day with milking.
My mom loves being out here. She would love to have been born in this era, I can tell, because she's so passionate about family history, and I don't share that passion, unfortunately. I think it's hard for her that me and my sisters don't embrace this lifestyle as much as she does.
The chores are shared among the girls. Vienna takes care of the mending. Lacey tends the fire. And Hannah feeds the chickens. The girl of all work, Mara, does nearly everything else.
I was just thinking about the fact that I feel totally incompetent cooking and keeping a fire going and washing dishes, and not incompetent. I can do everything that I'm doing. It's just not, I'm out of my element. Do you mind getting this one too? Sure. Thanks. It's harder for me to watch the cowboys live their life. I actually think that we work a lot harder than they do, and I don't think that that's really acknowledged.
Yeah, that was the nail.
Hit the nail, man. In general, us guys kind of, I think, tend to think that the girls have it really easy. But that's not the point. We are in 1867. You know, ladies, there were some gender roles back then.
Put her back in. Come on.
But even in 1867, the strict division of labor would not excuse men for watching women work without offering to help.
I'm trying my best to work within protocol as much as I can, but It's not something that I feel comfortable doing, and I can only fill the role so much before I feel like I'm really sacrificing a lot of myself. There's got to be a better system than this.
Figure it out.
I don't think that the guys understand that, because they're not being asked to sacrifice anything but creature comforts, and the women are being asked to sacrifice themselves.
Pick up his front feet.
I want you to put on a skirt and a corset.
I do, every night. There you go. It's all stand and watch.
I'm so hungry for breakfast.
So there's cups of water.
Great.
There's a cup for coffee. There's molasses and jam.
I
It's really
think
good
that
coffee.
we may end up being very much connoisseur coffee drinkers.
Breakfast for the cooks consists of coffee, corn cakes, and potatoes.
This is good. Yeah, it
Is
actually
there any
is.
lard in it?
No.
Yes.
Good job.
Lard-free is the word of the day.
Lard is the essence of life.
No.
Though today, lard is a four-letter word.
You out here.
Nice.
It was a staple of early ranch kitchens.
Well, I love this because it's like the quick and easy breakfast meal, so I can
I think
do other things in the
it
morning.
makes so much sense.
My dad is not quite as, exhausted. He'll come home and just pass out on the couch and watch TV and not want to be really disturbed a lot. But out here, he's a lot more fun to talk to and to be around. And he loves being outside. He loves to build things. So he's having a lot of fun out here.
If you start feeding the cowboys, they might start hanging around more like the cat. Just to let you know, I don't want that to happen. So they got work to do.
We don't feed him here.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't feed him here.
Morning, Cookie.
The inability to store fresh food in 1867 made dried beef, or what our cowboys lovingly call rawhide, a necessity.
See the ranch.
Rawhide.
Rawhide. Cooked rawhide. Probably refried.
That's what we call it around here. The toughest adjustment so far here at the ranch is definitely the food. We've all come from different eating habits back home in our real lives and come out here and have the same exact meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day.
So we get to chew on every day. 3 times a day, baby.
The cowboys expect more from Nacho, a chef in his 21st century life. But in fact, their meals are what early cowboys ate. Fruit and vegetables made up less than 10% of the typical diet.
I could chew our horses with this.
I think rawhide is very good for you. It takes about half your energy to digest.
The food has been a very important component of my intensive weight loss program. I expect to lose perhaps 400 pounds before I leave.
But it's not just the food that's a problem. Tensions are growing between Nacho the cook and Foreman Stan.
This cat likes your cakes. Nacho? Ignacio's on a little different plane than I am. We don't have a lot in common. Different personalities are going to mesh, and some of them are going to push away, like magnets. Nacho and I. We've not really established a rapport.
As far as Nacho goes, I'd heard a couple stories about how things were a little bit rugged over there with him and the Colonel, but I didn't really know because the Colonel is a very much of a perfectionist, but so's the cookie.
This thing's supposed to be, what, a 40 by 80 or whatever, square.
Breakfast over, Stan evaluates the cowboys' work, and he's not happy with their progress.
It'll be a little trapezoidal. Is that really not square?
Well, no, it's not square.
Well, how do you figure?
Take a look at it. I got a calibrated eyeball, buddy. I built too many fences.
All right, well,
I
we're
built
off
too
by
many
about 2
sheds in
feet.
my life. It's supposed to be square. That's what we got our lumber for. Square. Square, 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 square. Oh, dang, guys.
I think the Colonel style of management is causing some friction with the guys. That becomes problematic when you're dealing with 6 type A personalities, and some guys, it seems like they're just not used to taking any orders at all.
We're gonna hunt the gun. He's dead, he doesn't even know it.
I hate Stan, basically is what it is. I think he has a power trip, so he's basically a slave driver right now. He talks to us with the lack of respect and consideration.
Why didn't you get back to work? I've been working all morning hard. I'm a colonel in the army. Get back to work.
I'm not concerned about being liked or disliked. Obviously, you go through life, and it's always nice to be the guy who gets the apple at the end of the day from the students. I'm not particularly concerned about that. If I came out of this deal and all those guys said, you know, that Stan Johnston was fair, that's all that I would ask. And I wouldn't care if they ever sent me a Christmas card or not, as long as they thought that I was fair in what I did.
Johnny loves digging holes.
Yeah. It's totally,
Mr. Cook leaves Stan in charge while he goes out with Robbie, his top hand, to survey his 10,000-acre spread.
What I've been wanting to do for a while, just come out and get to see the lay of the land.
In 1867, his land would have cost $12,500. Today, it is worth $2.5 million.
See, right there, it goes all the way down. It comes all the way to the bottom. Because that tip of that mesa, that's our border. Okay. Let me show you this part, sir. Okay.
Barbed wire fencing wasn't introduced until the 1870s, leaving millions of maverick cattle free to roam across Texas. But will Mr. Cook's Greenhorn crew be able to find them?
Basically, sir, we could use that as a patch because there's only certain places you can come down in.
Will they be able to get water out there? Where are they going to get the water?
I was thinking about those watering holes up there.
Oh.
There it is. Y'all ready?
Let's go. We've covered a lot of ground.
Oh, yes, sir. We sure have.
Mr. Cook and his men have been riding for 4 hours, and they haven't spotted a single cow. But this is the least of his troubles.
I was actually taking a nap after that long ride, which was what probably everybody should have been doing. My daughter woke me up and said, "Dad, I think there's a fight."
I guess Colonel was telling Nacho that the water was dirty, and Nacho got upset that he was kind of stepping into his area, and they were just kind of going at each other.
Stan started hitting him once, so I just ran over and cut in between and got hit by the Colonel in the back and had to shove Nacho, hold him back.
Well, he hit me like this, closed fist in my chest, and then he pushed me. But he kept confronting me, kept coming in front of me, and it's annoying. It's annoying that a man his age is going to behave that way. You would think he would have much more discipline, you know? He was in the Army, for crying out loud. He's supposed to be a colonel. You know?
I saw the Colonel pushing Nacho, and I basically yelled out to the Colonel. I said, "Come on over here, I need to talk to you."
The fist fight between Stan and Nacho breaks the ranch rules about showing respect for others.
My leaders can't lose their temper and lose their cool and make bad decisions. That's not okay with me.
Stan is fired, told to pack up his belongings and leave the ranch immediately.
Adios, Texas Ranch House. Good luck, everybody. Oh, I guess tempers flared a little bit, and I finally just had enough. I just wish all those cowboys luck. They're going to need it.
I didn't have a lot of time to think about what to do next.
Losing his right-hand man could be a disaster. Mr. Cook needs to act quickly to keep the ranch together.
Hey, Robbie. Can I see you a minute, sir?
Robbie is by far the most skilled cowboy on the ranch.
Well, it looks like we had to make a change today.
Early Anglo ranchers depended upon the knowledge and experience of local Mexicans. Vaqueros, like Robbie, generally knew more about working cattle than their bosses.
I'd seen enough, so I had to let the Colonel go. We chatted a little bit, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page, but I'm thinking that you're the best man for the foreman job. I want to know if you want it. I'll take it? Good. Let's talk to the guys then. I had enough of a sense to know that, without question, the top hand was Robbie. Kind of quiet, but every one of the guys respects him. Hey, gentlemen, can I have your attention? Maybe come over? I know a lot of you have been experiencing some tension in camp, particularly related to the Colonel. As I observed today, things got a little out of hand, maybe a lot out of hand. When it gets into pushing and shoving and name-calling and getting in others' faces, it's just not okay with me. So today we let the Colonel go. Talked to Robbie. He's agreed to be the next foreman. And I don't anticipate any problems with that from you guys based on what I've seen so far. If anybody wants to come talk to me about any of this stuff, feel free. But as of now, Robbie's the new boss. Okay? Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
far as being the foreman right now, I wish I didn't have to get it like this. But if it just happened like that, I guess gotta step up to the plate now and do it the best that I can, best job I can.
In some ways, I'm glad that I won't have to deal with things and issues that he's had before with him. But in other ways, I feel quite sorry that he's missing out. You know, it's sad, but I guess it was inevitable.
I think out of everyone here, we were the two defiant ones when it came to the Colonel, and we questioned everything he did. And I think he resented us for that, so I think he's happy he's gone.
We were sharing a roof with him, and if he's already starting physical fights with his coworkers, it's not a very comfortable position for a father to put his children, as well as an employer to put his employees.
I apologize on behalf of the Cook Ranch. What happened to you today was not okay. I've offered the job to Robbie to be the foreman of the ranch. He's agreed to do it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
We do appreciate you here.
Thank you, sir.
Even though you haven't been made to feel that way too much lately, we really do. So thanks.
I think culpability was equal. And I saw Ignacio basically take advantage of a man who was in an angered state. I think who he thought he knew he could provoke to the point where he got shoved. There were two people involved, and I don't think either of them were really behaving like grown men.
You know, philosophically, I don't know what I'm going to take away from this deal. I'll just have to think about it. I don't know.
Interesting day at the ranch, wouldn't you say? Started out at 3:30 in the morning when our bed broke. Got the ranch foreman replaced. Now I'm gonna go fix a clothesline. Robbie could take the Colonel's room in the ranch house, but he decides to stay in the bunkhouse with his men.
We only have 2 exits we got here, huh? Bloody egg. I did not want to move into the Cook's house because I think the guys would have thought differently about me. They would have thought that now I was kind of leaving them behind. Like now I had moved on, I was going to forget about them.
Robbie's decision to stay in the bunkhouse means Mara no longer has to sleep in the kitchen. She and Vienna get the Colonel's old room.
Vienna has been sharing a bed with Hannah, and now everybody has their own bed, which is nice.
The corral is almost finished. The cowboys just need to complete a chute for processing cattle. Traditionally, cattle were branded on the open range, but the danger of handling wild bulls weighing as much as 1,200 pounds led to the invention of a chute system to restrain cattle safely. I was talking to Slim a little bit about it. He said that you might have a cow here, and the next one wedges in, and its head covers up the rump of one of them, which tightens them up even more.
Yeah. The more wedged they are, the less if they fight.
Yeah, okay, looks good.
So go ahead and hold that in, Sean.
With Robbie as their new foreman, the cowboys are picking up the pace and working harder.
Robbie's 180 degrees different than the Colonel. Robbie's very quiet, very kind of tries to lead by example, but Robbie has a tough time being tough. I'm looking for something in between. I'll be bringing him along in terms of his style in managing the men.
Oh, that's less than 2 minutes, baby. Well, you gotta cut that tip off. That's a hazard. Don't break it off like that. You're not supposed to leave any splinters on. People think you gotta be like John Wayne and yelling all the time, but that does not work out here. And I've told my ranch hand, I'm not going to do that. So I would only tell you once. If you don't want to do it, well, I guess we got to deal with it. And they're getting used to seeing me as a foreman and not more as a regular cowhand like I was before.
Robbie's a good leader, and he knows when to step up and step back rather than always in the front and always having to be in, the head horse and barking out orders.
Don't cut it too short.
What?
I won't cut it too short.
You have too short?
No, whatever. Just don't cut it too short.
Robbie's doing an excellent job. He's a really great way of motivating people. There's people who talk loud, there's people who yell at you, and then there's people who give instructions softly, and everyone has to focus in.
With the foreman crisis over, Mr. Cook can focus on his primary goal.
Let's see.
In less than 2 months, he must claim and sell enough cattle to cover the cost of the first season on the ranch. Gentlemen and ladies, thanks for joining me. This is going to be a very brief meeting. Mr. Cook calls the crew together to lay out his financial plan.
I've done some figuring, and we've got to pay the mortgage payment for the ranch, which is about $1,680. And that's due September 1st. But we got other expenses to cover, too. Wages. So
with his life savings on the line, a rancher like Mr. Cook would have to carefully estimate the number of cattle he needs to sell in order to pay off his creditors.
$25, $30 a head. So in total, to make the wages and to make the mortgage, we need about anywhere from 70 to 80 cows to accomplish that. If I don't have enough cows to sell at market to make the mortgage payment, then I lose the ranch. And then if I lose the ranch, then there's no ranching to do for any of you guys. You're all out of work.
But in fact, Mr. Cook's calculations are seriously flawed. He actually needs to claim nearly 200 head to keep the ranch afloat.
So any questions about what's up? Okay, let's go get some cows. As far as my style, I'm a pretty hands-on leader. It's more of a team thing to me than it is a hierarchy of dominance and submission. I'm not going to be the aloof, who is the guy in the ranch house that we never see. I'm going to be out there participating in what's going on.
Most successful early ranchers work side by side with their men.
So you slept good?
Went to bed, thinking I went to bed at a hotel, and I woke up here.
Oh, okay, well, visualization.
That's right.
But despite his statements to the contrary, Mr. Cook has decided not to join the crew on their very first cow hunt. He's chosen to do domestic chores for Mrs. Cook instead.
I hold the purse strings. I hold the power of determining what happens in each day's activities, and I can change them if I don't like what's planned.
Sean, you got your canteen?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
just have to fill it up.
You water Anders? Huh?
Easy.
We're gonna go through that road there and just kind of look at everything around.
Mrs. Cook outlines her plans for the day.
The wick turner, that big oil lamp that was on my basin, and we tend to bathe in the backyard, and so we have
Want me to build a log flume?
I want a flume to come down.
You don't
so
want a flume. Are you serious?
Absolutely. It says here, water trough
in back?
in the back.
That's what that means?
Yes.
Is by the end of the day okay?
That'll work.
Okay, we'll do.
Even though they can't bring in cattle until the chute is finished, Robbie wants the cowboys to get used to riding the rough terrain.
It is a pretty big ranch. I didn't think it was going to be this big, and it is very challenging out here.
Cow hunts were dangerous, sometimes lethal.
There's a lot of rough country, there's canyons and a lot of brush and things like that that's going to make it difficult for us.
The most common cause of death was to be thrown from a horse and then dragged.
Oh, there's a hole right there.
This land was also the furthest outpost of the western frontier, and cowboys frequently came under attack from Kiowa, Apache, and Comanche peoples, who fought to protect their homeland from Anglo intruders.
Yeah, we can go through here and then come back around the other side. There's a little frustration going on right now trying to find the cattle. We've done two different directions right now. Hopefully, maybe we can get lucky on this time. There's still no cattle here.
After 8 hours on horseback, covering over 20 miles, the cowboys have failed to spot any cattle.
Bill is truly the other half of me. I come up with the ideas and he executes them. But it's interesting how coming to this lifestyle can alter that so quickly, out of necessity. It's not a bad thing. I don't feel like he's ignoring me. In fact, he's down there trying to build me a table. The way he shows affection is he finds out what I need, and then he goes to great lengths to try to make it happen. It's gonna make my life easier.
That's the goal. Easier life for the wife, better life for the husband.
Very true. It's very funny. I was the driving force to get us here, and I felt like I disappeared. I'm kind of doing the backbone job. I'm holding it up, I'm getting it ready, I'm moving it forward, but it's so not about me. And so you have to trust those around you will recognize that. You did good.
You did good. We didn't fight once.
Hello and good morning. This is Sean.
By my estimates, it's about 3:30 a.m. We were just given our wake-up call by the cook by the sound of an unknown glass object hitting the side of our bunkhouse wall.
I've woken the boys up because I have no idea what time it is. It's getting almost impossible to tell. 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. Desperately need a clock. They had clocks in 1867, and an old cook like me would have had a clock. This is a great frustration to me, and I'm creating a great frustration in these cowboys here.
My body needs about 3 more hours of sleep, and we have a mad cook on the loose. Things couldn't be better.
Three hours later, Nacho's mood has not improved.
Try to take one until I get the rest of them out.
All right.
And it's dried beef and beans for breakfast again.
Nacho, do we have a spoon? Okay. How about in here?
They're all nice.
Really?
Nacho has been very inconsistent. You know, the boys know that he can produce a good meal, and then he goes and throws a half a dozen bad meals at us. And so half of the time, they're cursing him out and wishing we had another cook.
No more raw. I feel restricted as to how I can manage what I have when our rations are very meager. I do hold back stuff. I ration out what I have. Like today, instead of making flour tortillas, I made a combination of flour and corn tortillas so we could stretch it.
Although the ranch is well stocked with fresh produce from the vegetable garden, egg-laying hens, goats, and milk cows, they all belong to the ranch owners. Nacho depends upon the generosity of Mr. and Mrs. Cook to get his hands on any of these items.
Then maybe we could do it Saturday.
Yeah, what kind? Are they just cooked, or what's the flavoring in them?
We may jalapenos. Mora's easiness into peppers, which will eventually cool us off.
You guys are going to be out of control by the end of the summer. You're going to be eating them raw.
Hot food freak?
When you're the cook, whether it's me or Mora or Nacho, there's what you want to do, and there's what everybody else needs.
Another outstanding meal.
As soon as tomatoes come in, salsa, it's going to be great.
I love salsa.
Mrs. Cook has 4 helpers. She even made a comment. She says, well, we all take turns. I said, yeah, but you have 4 people and yourself taking turns. I still have to do the breakfast, lunch, dinner, the cleanup.
Not the milk ones.
Often the cook would pick one of the ranch hands, usually the greenest of the bunch, to be his helper. But at the moment, this isn't an option. All of the cowboys are needed to search for the elusive cattle.
Yeah, but at least it won't be raw, huh? It'll be goat. Okay, y'all can go just sweeping up and down. We can split up and just kind of look at everything around. Go. All right. So let's ride to that top up there.
Okay.
After another long day in the saddle, the cowboys make a discovery.
Wait a second.
Cow.
They find 25 head of cattle.
Hey, Anders, doesn't it feel cool to be the first two to see a cow?
The Longhorn of the 1860s were lean and mean, sometimes impossible to herd and prone to stampede.
Today we went out to a south pasture. We came across like 20-something head of cattle. There was a steers, heifers, and yearlings, and a couple of mother cows out there. Boys are pretty excited. They're pretty wound up about it now.
But until the chute needed to process the cattle is complete, there is no point in rounding them up. For the time being, the cowboys return to the ranch empty-handed.
Now, if we can find him again, there's another story.
It's now a race against time. The cowboys must finish the chute before the cattle they found wander off into the thousands of acres surrounding the ranch.
Oh, is that your spit? Nail boy.
Don't be calling me nail boy. I'm humble enough to do a humble job, but I'm not gonna start being called nail boy.
I think that's enough nails, Sean. Oh, that's... Broke the hammer? Oh. Shot? Oh.
Mr. Cook's not very happy.
Well, we got good news and bad news. Good news, we're done. They broke your hammer on the last nail.
But just as the cowboys are ready to bring in their first cattle, disaster strikes. Half of them come down with a stomach bug and can't get out of bed.
Ian is dehydrated, and Johnny has some sort of stomach ailment, and he has a inner ear infection. He also has
conjunctivitis,
which is a virus in your eye.
You can't just run your body dry, and this last week, that's all we've been doing. Just the combination of lack of sleep, the heat, and the monotony of the food is just, it's draining everyone's spirits. I mean, there's not a real end in sight to this. And I hope it changes pretty soon, or else I know some people around here are pretty close to packing it in.
Sickness was a part of ranch life. With limited access to clean water and no refrigeration, dysentery and other ailments were common.
In terms of our physical wellness, a lot of us have, learned to cope with the food. I had a small bout a couple of days ago where I had the runs. I was puking a little bit.
It's a real challenge to deal with the food situation because I do feel very maternal. When I heard that they were getting sick, then that became a real concern to me, and I felt like I needed to delve in and find out, is this a lack of cleanliness with, dishes? What's going on? Are they not getting enough to eat?
Mr. and Mrs. Cook summoned Robbie to the house.
You're in charge of Nacho now. That's part of your job, which isn't the easiest
I know, I've been
responsibility. I can tolerate a little bit of transition time, but it's got to get fixed.
Yeah.
So I want to get a schedule tightened down.
Yeah,
to
but
us.
I mean, as far as like me telling him, you know what, Nacho, you got to prepare this and this and this. Like,
Yeah,
what do you know? I mean, basically, I know a little bit more of cooking out in the country than he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you could put me out in wherever he works at the cafe out there, yeah, he'll burn my socks off. But out here, I think I can outdo him. And I think cleanliness is
All
one of
right.
the things. I mean,
I'm not
maybe,
surprised, and
like I said, he's not used to working outdoors or being stuff like that, and I hear him complain a lot about the fact that he needs more help.
I think maybe a good strategy would be for me to come visit, because I haven't met the animals, I haven't seen the bunkhouse, and I just had a glance at the cook's area. If you could lay a groundwork that says, she's coming over, I want you to listen carefully to what she's got, maybe take a notepad with you. They've got some things working over at the ranch house now, and then I could come in and try to get a word in edgewise.
Mrs. Cook sends Mara with a basket of greens and a message for Nacho.
Nacho,
How are you? Oh my God.
some greens.
Heck yeah.
Can I?
She tells him that Mrs. Cook would like to meet with him that afternoon.
That whole corral is the new corral. They put all the posts in.
After nearly 2 weeks on the ranch, Mrs. Cook makes her first visit to the bunkhouse.
And here's where the cook has his things out here.
But Nacho snubs Mrs. Cook and hides out in his room.
So I think we're going to change it and put it in a different...
Nacho's obviously a very talented chef in his everyday life, and I know that he has a huge workload. But my concern is that he may still be making some decisions based on, that's a little more work than I want to do, or I don't want to bother with that, and yet it means the boy's going without. Wow, what an amazing view from the kitchen window.
Across over there is the cemetery from the previous owners.
Oh, I wanted to see.
Right now?
If you want to.
Sure. You do need to get out, don't you?
I haven't been outside. Well, I can see that ladies' apparel isn't built for going past the house.
This is what we ride on.
I know.
Burial plots like this were a necessity on remote ranches where tuberculosis, pneumonia, and typhoid were common.
A little rocky. A little rocky, but pretty good.
In 1867, the average life expectancy in Texas was only 40.
What a view.
So riding out tomorrow then, would that be a cow hunt and drive?
Yeah,
Our
probably
pastures here?
around close to that spring right next to the other pasture.
I have to have water, I'm dying.
As the day draws near to when we're actually going to bring some of these cattle in, I think the anxiety and the tension is going to step itself up a notch or two. A little sobering, but exciting at the same time. That's what the life of a cowboy is all about. being out there, bringing in the cattle, being in the saddle.
And man, bunkhouse language in here at night. Bleep, 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 bleep. Cat, get out of here.
This is very good control in front of the ladies. Do you guys want to walk into the cemetery with us?
You look around, as far as you can see, this is the ranch grounds, and who knows where the cattle are or how wild they're going to be. That's something that I think it's at the back of all of our minds.
Recovered from their illness, the cowboys set off to bring in the cattle. Rather than head out with his men, Mr. Cook decides to stay at home again.
See, if you can get in front of them where they won't run, stop them.
We have all 4 guys up there.
Somebody take point. We're going to need somebody to get in front of them.
On a cow hunt, 3 experienced cowboys could handle over 200 head of cattle at one time.
Go back a little bit, Johnny. Ian, get in front of them.
Robbie and his 5 cowboys are working 12 head. 13 of the longhorn they spotted 2 days ago are gone.
Just slow back, Johnny. Slow down.
Turn him towards Jared.
Just keep pushing him. Bring him on.
Watch that black one.
Johnny, turn him.
All right, well, whatever we're doing, we're in the wrong spot.
Back at the ranch, Mr. Cook is anticipating a successful cow hunt.
More carried over here.
He has asked his wife to prepare a hearty meal for the cowboys.
That's not a question.
Mrs. Cook wants Nacho to return some provisions she gave him earlier, but he's not very cooperative.
Would you work on assembling the list that I gave you? And we'll
Yeah,
get
I
started
better
in
need
the
to
kitchen.
clean these pots. And then once I finish, we'll do whatever you want. How's that?
You know what?
You have it
it's
in...
not very nice, because you're saying that these pots are more important.
I will take care of that. I just don't like being pushed. I will take care of it, and okay.
That makes
Maybe
me
you
feel
don't
like
see
we're
it.
gonna work together, and I want to work together.
Yeah, no, we're gonna work together. That's not an issue. Just the dialogue alone is working. So I mean, we're dialoguing. That's working.
How come you won't do it?
Huh?
How come you won't do it?
I will, but I won't do it.
But you don't want to give it to me now. The thing is, we're both in the same boat.
Your boat is a little larger. You have a better crew. I'm on a rowboat, and you're in a yacht right now, so to speak. You have the garden. You have eggs. I don't. You have produce that I just till
Is
today
that why
got.
you're fighting with me then about it?
No,
Because you're bitter about that?
No, I'm not. It's not a fight. If you look at it as a fight, then
This is the passive-aggressive way of saying I'm ticked with you, woman.
once I finish this, I'll start assembling your list together.
After only a few hours herding, Robbie's men are starting to work as a team.
John, you can come in just a little bit.
I think the guys that were out there during the cow hunt, I think that they worked together very good. I did help them out, trying to get them, but at the end, I just kind of left them on their own. I was very pleased the way they adjusted together. They worked together as a team.
It's a big moment for the ranch. The first cattle are about to be branded.
Come on, Johnny, you can do it.
Take that one. Cut him, Johnny. Johnny, cut him. Get in between him. This is gonna be great.
Branding was the most reliable means early ranchers had to identify their cattle on the open range. On an 1867 ranch, all newly cleaned cattle would have been branded. But our greenhorn cowboys can only handle the smaller calves. To identify the larger cows, their tails will be bobbed instead.
You want to do it right below the bone, right?
Yeah, well, just leave him some hair so he can swat the flies off.
Giving haircuts after this, anybody wants me.
Yeah, I thought.
Genuine cowtail.
I think Dad wants to keep these and hang them on the wall. Is Dad really gonna brand? I have no idea. He wants to.
The cow hunt we had was, to me, a very big success.
Celebrate the first cows we've caught. Yeah! Nice job, guys.
And we got to use the new Cook brand, so that was very exciting for me.
Howdy.
Hi.
They're here.
You hungry?
Sorry, quiet.
The cowboys gather for Mrs. Cook's meal, but Nacho is not with them.
Robbie, is Nacho coming?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so please.
Cowboys first.
Birthday style, you guys know.
Some ranch owners chose to always eat with their hired hands and share all food supplies, while others maintained a strict separation.
It's nice to treat them. They treated us to some cows.
Yeah.
That helps us. We're 12 head, closer to making it another year, huh?
Yeah. It's interesting because I think Mr. Cook and I differ on this a little bit. He wants to share, and I can see the ramifications of that.
Look at this. What have we been missing out on?
It's no fun to have your expectations raised just to know that the next 3 days may just be rawhide and day-old beans.
Wow, this all looks so good.
So I just have to give it more thought because I'm really not sure.
I think I'd donate my entire monthly salary to be able to eat like this on a regular basis.
That could be rich.
How's the garden?
Garden is coming along. Unfortunately, all we have right now is salad and squash.
Nice. I mean, that's
But
pretty.
hey, it's green. What about cucumbers? Maybe in a couple weeks we'll have some of the smaller tomatoes.
Hey, Robbie, we need to bring cows more often.
We're gonna round up every day, boys.
The day of celebration has arrived.
Today is our 4th of July celebration, and I'm so excited that I pretty much skipped breakfast. Well, for more reasons than just that. I know a good lunch is coming up, and I didn't feel like corn mush this morning.
After the Civil War, most Confederate sympathizers in Texas and other states not yet readmitted to the Union would not have celebrated the 4th of July.
We can hang them like streamers.
But the Cooks, like many wealthy Northerners who moved out to Texas, would never think of passing up this celebration.
These are strips for the three-legged race. We'll tie our legs together and see what happens.
The prospect of a party has brought the ranch together. Preparations have been underway for the past few days.
And then that's the cabrito. It's cooking down. It's been cooking since about 6 o'clock yesterday.
Nacho has made a special goat stew.
Looks like it's gonna be really good.
It'll be a little squishier than fudge. This is our first place ribbon for the three-legged race, and it has the CNR brand on it. We are all really looking forward to it.
Everyone tries their best to get cleaned up for the party.
First shave is probably going to take me about an hour and a half.
Without running water, tub baths were usually taken once a week, with entire families sharing the same bath water.
My hair does feel cleaner this time around, and I think it's the rinsing backwards. The trick is staying clean for another 2.5 hours before people get here.
Yeah.
I know.
The Cooks have a large tin tub, but at the bunkhouse, the cowboys make do with pails. It is no surprise that they rarely bathe. Most cowboys had only 1 or 2 sets of clothes.
How's that feel? Good.
For women, it's at least 7 layers of clothing.
Can you breathe? Yeah. Can you eat? Maybe.
First stockings, then panelettes, shift, corset, hoop, petticoat, and finally, the dress.
Oh, you guys are matching pastels.
Hi, Anders. Good evening, Sean. Happy 4th of July. Nacho. Johnny. Did you hear the British are coming?
Neighbors would travel 30 miles or more to visit other ranches. The Cooks' guests include local ranchers and historical experts whom they met during their training for the project.
Welcome. I was so thrilled to see faces. So nice to see a woman. And I just gave her a big hug and I said, a woman on the ranch. I'm so happy to see you. I was almost in tears. And she understood exactly what I was saying. So it was wonderful to visit. I just loved it.
On the frontier, men outnumbered women 6 to 1. Ranch wives were isolated and grateful for any contact with other women.
Hi, Steve.
Happy to see you.
Hey, pleasure.
All right, gents, here we are. Let's unload the beers, ladies. A generous neighbor has brought a keg of beer to the celebration. Typically, ranches prohibited alcohol except on special occasions like this.
Oh, shoot. I'm just gonna make my way back to the bunkhouse.
You can let it go.
You guys know what?
Oh my gosh, watermelon, I can't believe it. Distinguished guests, friends, and everyone involved with the ranch house, On behalf of my husband and I and our 3 daughters, we want to welcome you to the Cook Family Ranch 4th of July celebration. So, let the festivities begin.
A long-awaited feast. The guests have brought fresh-baked bread, chickens, plum preserves, and oatmeal cookies.
We haven't had fruit in 2 weeks, so we had big watermelons and plum preserve, crumble cake, whatever. It was so good. We all had sugar in our systems, and the guys had some beer.
Cheers. Salud.
It was definitely nice to not be working all day and to come and just, be ourselves with each other.
Oh my gosh. This looks like jam. How's your crew working? I say this with complete truthfulness and honesty. That was the best damn meal I have ever had in my life. Wow. Big Howdy was in food heaven.
I would love to go running. I still haven't really seen outside the front gate.
Oh no, oh no.
Here ye find your partners for
Let's have hoops going.
Okay, for a 3-legged race. Ready? Set.
Go, Dirty Johnny!
Put those shoes on. Come on. Dirty Johnny! Get the bedroll. Get the bedroll. Come on, Slick.
Caught up in the games, the partygoers fail to notice they are being watched.
Now, the only goal in this thing is to have fun.
Ready.
And happy 4th of July. Okay, here we go.
You got enough fire?
Got enough fire.
The festivities continue. Black gunpowder ignited between 2 anvils produces fireworks for the occasion.
All right, let it fly.
Good job.
It's funny, the most enjoyable part for me was kind of as people started to fade away and the sun came down, we had some lanterns on the table and we had somebody playing guitar, and it was just exactly like you'd imagine it. Being on a ranch and the day winding down and the party fading away, and it was really beautiful.
I love our American culture, our values based on hard work, and the 4th of July is a good day to celebrate that.
Very good.
After an evening of fun, everyone goes to bed happy and exhausted, unaware that they are about